What's good, ladies and gentlemen? It's Lotus here today, the boy who never knows best. Welcome back to the Nerd Corner. And in today's video, I'm bringing you guys another manga tag video because I think it's been a reasonable amount of time since we had that kind of span, that period where there were manga tags coming out left and right and all circulating around the community at the same time, and everyone kind of got burned out on them. Yeah, that was a month, 2 months ago. I don't know, my sense of time is horrible. But yeah, it was a reasonable amount enough time ago, so I think we're about due for a new one, and we have one currently going around, started by the homie Insidious Swede, whose link I will leave to in the description, whose channel I will leave a link to in the description down below. You guys should definitely go and check him out. He's a great guy, has an insane collection, he does all types of manga videos, whether it's first impressions, reviews, manga hauls. So if you like any of my manga related content, you'll definitely love his channel. Dude's got a crazy collection of 1,000+ volumes, so there's plenty of content to go over there and check out. He's got many thoughts on many different series, so yeah, definitely go check him out. Plus, he was very kind with the words that he gave me towards the end of his video when he actually tagged me in this manga tag, so greatly appreciate it, homie. It really put a big smile on my face because I didn't expect that. But yeah, man, great content over his way. Definitely go check him out. But yeah, this manga tag, this is something that he started. He kind of got tagged in another video, and he kind of mixed it up and turned it into his own thing because I guess some of the questions were too similar to stuff he's answered before in the past. And some of the questions that we have here today are stuff that I haven't answered before. Yeah, we're gonna get into it. Question number 1 is, what is a manga series that was better than you expected it to be? For me, that's going to be Busou Ranking, a story written and drawn by Nobuhiro Watsuki, the same mangaka who brought us Rurouni Kenshin. And what's funny about this is that Rurouni Kenshin, for those of you who don't know, is my #1 favorite manga series of all time. That said, this being by the same mangaka, you might have thought that I'd go into it with really high expectations, but it's actually the total opposite, because I felt like going into a series, expecting it to live up to what I think is my #1 favorite series of all time, the series that I think is the greatest series that I've ever read, it's kind of unfair. Like, I'd be setting myself up for disappointment to expect every manga title that I go into, even if it's by the same person, to live up to that status, that pedestal that I have it on. So I actually went into this with really low expectations, especially considering that I had never even heard of it at all until I got the first volume of it, which is funny because I actually got it alongside my Rurouni Kenshin volumes, the seller that I purchased my Kenshin volumes off of threw this in for free. But yeah, I'd never heard of it, so I assumed that maybe it just wasn't well received. Plus, it's really short, at only 10 volumes, so I figured maybe it got cut short because it was canceled, and I didn't know. I knew nothing at all about it, so I didn't want to get my hopes up. Went into it with no expectations, came out pleasantly surprised. Not the greatest story that I've ever read. I'd give it like a 6 out of 10, which is decent, you know, for those of you, because I don't know about how some of you guys grade things out there, but a 5 out of 10 is average to me. A 5 out of 10 is not bad. That just means it's decent, it's readable, it's watchable. I give this like a 6.5 out of 10 because I enjoyed it a little more than just being decent or your average run-of-the-mill story. Even though it is more generic and cliche than I think Kenshin is, it's still something that, 1, the artwork is incredible because I love Watsuki's style. I think he has a very unique style. 2, the villains are pretty interesting actually, especially for Pillar Mask. That guy's a character, I'll tell you that. You definitely something you gotta read for yourself. Plus, I thought the ability, like the power that's used in this is pretty cool. I thought it was something really dope. Plus, our female protagonist, she's not the main character. Our main character is a guy named Kazuki, but the female protagonist is a pretty dope character who I really enjoyed as well. So, Busou Ranking, 10-volume series by Nobuhiro Watsuki, same mangaka who brought Rurouni Kenshin. Went into it with low expectations, came out pleasantly surprised. This is a manga series that I definitely thought was better than I expected it to be. So, yeah. Question number 2 is, what is your favorite character possession? Now, this one is actually a little bit difficult for me to answer because if we were talking anime, I know straight from the get-go what it would be, because my favorite possession that any character in anime owns is Haruko Harahara's left-handed Rickenbacker bass guitar from Fully Cool. You guys know, well, some of you already know, most of you probably know. Fully Cool is my #1 favorite anime of all time, and I like guitars. I like the music in that series. Haruko's an awesome character. The guitar is just, it's iconic. It's a staple. So that would be it. But we're talking about manga here, so it's a little more difficult to answer. But I kind of came upon a conclusion because initially my first thought when it comes to manga and, you know, a favorite possession that a character owns is to jump straight into swords, because I like swordsmanship, I like ninjas, all that good stuff, samurai. I've read quite a few series where swords are like a focal point, like in the story. But I didn't want to be that cliche about it, you know. I wanted to pick something a little more unique. So what I'm actually going to go with is Yo's Bear Claw Necklace from Shaman King. Now, for those of you who don't know about Shaman King, it is a 32-volume series by Hiroyuki Takei, who was actually an assistant to Nobuhiro Watsuki before he worked on his own series, which is funny because people like Eiichiro Oda, you know, the mangaka for One Piece, was also an assistant to Nobuhiro Watsuki, so just more reasons to go read Rurouni Kenshin if you never have. But yeah, this is, as you guys can see right here, he's different on all the covers because this isn't like his actual design like in the story. But this necklace he's wearing right there is something that he wears throughout the entirety of the series, and it's a really dope piece. So much so that I actually got it, you know, in real life. And I don't wear it all the time because I'm sure you guys have noticed I wear my dog tag necklace more than anything. But I do wear it from time to time, and it's something that I thought was really cool and something that I kind of wanted to own. And maybe I can get a decent image of Yo in here so you guys can see the necklace. But yeah, I can't find a decent image right now. Oh, I guess this one's, oh, okay, this is the title page. I'm not sure how well you guys can see that, but he's wearing this bear claw necklace, and that's a more accurate representation of what he looks like in the story. But yeah, Shaman King, Yo's bear claw necklace. Question number 3 is, what is a completed manga that you wish was longer? And for me, that's definitely going to be Hikaru no Go, because if you haven't seen my top 10 manga list video, which I will link in the description down below if you are interested in that, this makes its way on my list. I forget at which place because it changes in my head all the time. But Hikaru no Go is on that list. But what holds it back for me a lot is the ending, because I felt like it was really abrupt and kind of unexpected, and there was so much more to be desired. It wasn't necessarily a bad ending, like it's not like they did something stupid or it really let me down and like the way it all concluded. It's just that like it just felt really abrupt, and I was like, there needs to be more. So this is one series that I've definitely read where it's not it didn't necessarily have a bad ending. It just, I was like, I need more out of this. But Hikaru no Go, it's 23 volumes if I remember correct, and it could have used another just a few more volumes, like 2 or 3 would have been great, 5 to 10 would have been amazing. But yeah, this is definitely one of those series that it could have used a few more volumes. Question number 4 is, who is your favorite Immortal character? Now this question was actually more difficult than I expected it to be, mainly because I couldn't think of too many characters that are immortal. But after giving it some thought, I realized that my favorite immortal character that I could come up with is actually a character from a series that I do not personally own, but have read 13 or 14 volumes of, and that is Bon the Undead from 7 Deadly Sins. Now, for those of you who know me well, you know why I don't own 7 Deadly Sins. It's the most petty, childish, immature, retarded reason. It's because I think the volumes for 7 Deadly Sins are ugly, okay? Now, it's probably something that I'll collect eventually. It's just not a priority right now. But yeah, Bon the Undead, dope-ass character. Really like his design, really like his personality. He's a great dude. He's a really great dude. Plus, the more I learned about his backstory, the more I really like this character. So yeah, Bon the Undead. Question number 5 is, what manga do you want published in English and in what type of release? Now, there is no particular series, like right off the top of my head, that I can come up with. I was like, I want this manga released and I want it in this type of release. Because I don't read any manga online. So the only manga that I really keep up with and know about are English releases. There's like I don't read Kingdom or like Rikudo or any of those series like that, just because I don't like reading online. I just don't like digital manga. It's not my thing. I prefer the physical format. With that being said though, there are a handful of series out there that if they got an English release, I'd be more than happy to check out, such as Hajime no Ippo, such as Rikudo, such as Kingdom, and many other series that everyone hypes up and says are amazing, but you can only read them online because they don't have English releases. Now, when it comes to what type of format would I like them to be released in, I know a lot of people out there really love omnibuses. There are some really great ones out there, like the Mobile Suit Gundam series and the Planet Tez release, or Planet, however you pronounce that series' title. There's some really great releases out there, like Vinland Saga and the JoJoniums. But me personally, this might shock some people, I don't like omnibuses, I don't like hardcovers, I don't like photo paper. Now I know that's like that, huh? It's just, when it comes to manga, I just don't prefer that type of release. And when it comes to me, my favorite type of release is just a regular, standard tankobon, just like Viz Media's Shonen, just like this right here. This is perfect to me. It fits my hand perfectly. I can take it with me anywhere. That's just my preferred release. It's affordable, and that's just how I prefer manga to get released. In fact, it really upsets me when series that I want get released and they don't get that type of treatment, like Kuriko's Basket, for example, or Kuriko's Basketball rather. We got a release, but it's in a 2-in-1 format, and I hate it. Oh my god, I hate it. I hate it a lot. I still have not bought it, just because every time I think about doing it, I see it in person on the shelf at Booksman, and I'm just like, this is so ugly. It's so ugly. And by the way, when I say I don't like hardcovers and I don't like omnibuses and I don't like the photo quality paper and color pages and stuff like that, it's not that like I necessarily don't like it. I just don't want that type of release for manga, because I prefer, we all have our own preferences, I just prefer just the regular format. I like the black and whites. I feel like color pages, if you do too many of them, it's not a treat anymore. Like, it's something that should be special. Like, it should be used sparingly. That's just how I feel. Plus, I'm kind of like a traditional type of guy, I guess you could say, and I just prefer things to stay closer and truer to their original format. So that's just the way it is with me. Yeah, what can I say? I can appreciate hardcovers. Like, I can look at the JoJoniums or the Mobile Suit Gundam, the origin releases, and I'm like, yo, this is incredible. This is really high quality. Like, I don't hate on it or anything like that. It's just like, it's not something I want to buy. if that makes sense to any of you out there. But yeah, that's just how I feel on the matter. Question number 6 is, what is your favorite current Shonen Jump series? Now, if we're talking Shonen Jump in general, it's easily going to be Twin Star Exorcist. This is honestly one of my favorite manga series of all time at this current point. It just gets better and better with each volume. I love the story, I love the characters, I love the art. Everything about this story is great to me. Highly recommend it. Go check it out. You guys know I gotta plug this every time I get a chance to. Read the damn manga. If you've seen the anime, you think it's garbage, I don't blame you, but read the goddamn manga, okay? You won't be disappointed, I promise. But if we're talking about just weekly Shonen Jump, then it's going to be My Hero Academia, because this is the only story currently going on in Shonen Jump that I read at all. I've only read like the first 5 or 6 volumes, so I'm not even caught up to date. But this is the only series in Weekly Shonen Jump right now that I can even say that like I'm a fan of and I've read, because everything else I haven't. Only other series in Weekly Shonen Jump that I've read at all is One Piece, and you guys know my stance on One Piece. Question number 7 is, what is your favorite first volume to a series? Easily gonna give it to Rurouni Kenshin. Rurouni Kenshin has one of the best first volumes. No, it has the best first volume to a series that I have ever read. Granted, I'm obviously biased. I'm a huge fanboy for the series, a huge fanboy for Nobuhiro Watsuki, but seriously, like the characters, the artwork, everything starts off strong in the story. You get right into some action near the very beginning. Kenshin is such a dope character straight from the get-go. Kamiya Kaoru, you get to see that she's not a weakling, little helpless damsel in distress, because she shows her guts and her strength a few moments in the beginning. You get introduced to Yahiko and Sanosuke fairly early on. So yeah, you get introduced to most of the cast and some really great action and artwork right from the get-go. And it's just a very strong first volume. It's very solid. The only thing that I'm not necessarily too fond of when it comes to Rurouni Kenshin's first volume is the cover, man, because, ooh, I don't know about you guys, but I'm just not really feeling it. I mean, don't get me wrong, Rurouni Kenshin has some amazing covers, but this ain't really one of them. Question number 8 is, what are 2 manga that are, in your opinion, underrated and underappreciated? Now, if you've been keeping up with my channel, you already know exactly what 2 series I was going to pick for this. Shaman King and Twin Star Exorcist, obviously, they're 2 series that I bring up and recommend all the time. They're 2 series that I constantly talk about how I believe they're underrated or underappreciated, or they don't get enough credit, or not enough people have checked them out. Twin Star Exorcist, because it's relatively new, I understand why. Plus, it does have a anime adaptation that is not doing it any favors. I don't know if it's still running. I think it might have just recently ended. If not, it should be close to ending by now. I think it was around 50 episodes or so. I don't know. I stopped keeping up with it because it's nowhere near as good as the manga. I say that all the time, every chance that I get. If you've seen the anime, you think it's trash, check out the manga, because it's so much better. I promise you, I promise you, I promise you. And Shaman King. Now, what's funny about Shaman King, and this is something that I couldn't say before because I hadn't read this other story that I'm about to mention, but now that I've watched the anime, I can say this with confidence. So, I recently got into JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I'm currently somewhere in the middle of part 3. And what's interesting about Shaman King is that this is obviously very heavily inspired or influenced by JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which probably doesn't come as a surprise to many of you JoJo's fans, because JoJo's has seemingly inspired everything in the universe ever. But yeah, the ability, the power that they use within Shaman King is very similar to the concept of stands, because you have like these spirit allies that they fight alongside, and a lot of times they show up behind them and they like fight alongside. It's basically, just think of stands, but they're all spirits, like they're all warriors from the past. So you have like a 600-year-old samurai, and like a 500-year-old Chinese general, and then you have like thieves and bandits and stuff like that. So yeah, Shaman King, it's really dope. If you like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I would recommend this. I really would, because it's similar, and if you like JoJo's, you might really like this. And if you haven't read JoJo's, or you're not a fan of JoJo's, and you're just looking for something, a really cool, laid-back, action-packed battle shonen and adventure series that you haven't read before, Shaman King's definitely got that fix for you, so check it out. It's 32 volumes though, so it's a kind of a big commitment, so you know, take that as you will. Question number 9 is, what is a manga series that you would like to see get released in full color? Now, I kind of touched on this just a moment ago, but I wouldn't want to see any manga get released in full color. Like I said earlier, I feel like color pages are something that should be used sparingly and not too frequently, because it should be a treat, you know. It's like a surprise. It's like you don't want ice cream, well, maybe some of you do, but like me personally, like I don't want to eat cake and ice cream all the time. It's something it's special. You have it every once in a while, or like your favorite food, or like your favorite song. Like it's something that you have every blue moon, every once in a while, and it's more special that way. It's more fulfilling. It's more satisfying. And that's how I feel about color pages. I like color pages. I'm a fan of them. Whenever I do see them, I'm like, oh, that's great. But I'm not a huge fan of like full color manga. Like Dragon Ball Z has like that full color release going out right now, and I'd probably never buy that. It's not that I dislike it, it's just that it's just not for me. Well, for one, I already own all of Dragon Ball Z, so it's not like that's really in my interest. But even if I didn't, I would much rather go after the regular singles like I already have, if I didn't have Dragon Ball Z already. However, with all that being said, if I had to pick a series that I'd want to see get released in full color just for the hell of it, for the sake of it, I would pick Deadman Wonderland. I'm actually starting a reread of the series. You guys can see my little bookmark sticking out up here. But yeah, I loved Jinsei Kataoka's artwork. Very stylistic, very dope, very cool, very greedy. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. And Deadman Wonderland is a very bloody series, and it's a very grungy, dark, grittier series, especially when it comes to the artwork. So seeing that in full color probably be really interesting. Not to mention that this is one of those series where you do get a few special little color pages at the beginning of the story, and they look great. They look really great. So seeing the whole series like that would probably be a really special treat to a lot of you. It's not that I wouldn't enjoy that, it's just that, again, I like color pages being here and there, not necessarily throughout an entire volume or let alone an entire series. But if I can show you guys an example real quick, I'll show you guys what the color pages look like at the very beginning. This one's kind of black and white with just a little splash of red in there somewhere. And then if we go flip through, you guys can see we got some more right there. And there are some full color pages, but these are just a couple of ones that show up first. Let me just flip to like the full color page that we have in here. There's a full color spread right there, which looks pretty great. And again, like seeing these at the beginning of each volume, just a few pages, it's really dope to me. But I don't know how I'd feel about the entire manga looking like this. But if it did, I think it'd be cool. Like it just not necessarily be something I would buy. But yeah, there's that. And the final question on the list, coming in at number 10, is what would be your ideal mangaka collaboration? Now, I actually did an entire video dedicated specifically to this question because it's a discussion topic that I had on my own mind for quite some time. And with the arrival of this manga tag, I felt like now was as good a time as any to get that video out and my thoughts on that idea. So if you want to hear me go into depth about my thoughts on that specific question and who I would like to see work together and what my thoughts on all that are, because I do ramble on for quite a bit and some of you might be into that, a link to that video will be in the description down below. A lot of links in the description. There's always a lot of information in my description, so you guys should always check that out. But yeah, full-on videos discussing specifically that question in the description down below, which you guys can go and check out. But if you just want my quick, short, and dirty answer, it would be Jinsei Kataoka and Takeshi Obata, my two favorite illustrators in manga, because they're just both phenomenal artists. My two favorite in manga. But yeah. So that'll do it for today. That is a wrap. That is the end of this manga tag video. And I know you're supposed to tag people at the end of these, but I'm going to go ahead and go with the cop out because I just don't know who I should tag, because I don't know who has or hasn't already been tagged. And I can't really be asked to go look into that right now. So if you haven't been tagged and you want to jump in, feel free to hop on board, because we don't hate, we don't discriminate, we educate the freight. You heard, I'm feeling great. And shout out to anyone who catches that reference. But yeah, whoever wants to join on the tag, feel free. I just can't be asked to check who has and hasn't been. But all of my MangaTube fam, you guys know, y'all all part of the one big happy family we got running on here. And if you haven't been tagged already, I'm tagging you, so hop on board. Yeah, I'm sorry. With that said, that's pretty much all I have for today. Hit this video with a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't already, so you guys can stay tuned for all this content I'm bringing you. And remember, nothing can ever happen unless you swing the bat. Later.